All right, folks. So we got a Reuters article. What is Reuters talking about? They're talking about some shite. That is not a swear word. Half of Republicans believe false accounts of deadly U.S. Capitol riot. Half of Republicans. That's crazy, man. That's like, I mean, like, I've been saying this for a while. Republicans are crazy people. Like, there's this, like, you have to, like, understand, if you are a Republican in the year 2021, after January 6th, I'm sorry, your time to exit the Republican Party with any sort of face to save was January 5th. Maybe January 6th. Like, the day of, you see it and you go like, I'm throwing in the towel. Like, whatever, make a huge splash. If you're still a Republican January 7th and onward, I'm sorry, but you're just a dumb motherfucker. There are two options, and these are not mutually exclusive. Option one, you are a dumb bitch motherfucker. I'm sorry, man, but Jesus Christ. And option two, you're a fucking crazy terrorist fucking scumbag. There's no other options. There's no third gender here, motherfucker. There's only two genders. You're a dumbass or you're a fuckface at the Republicans, alright? So, let's read this article. Since the deadly January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, former President Donald Trump and his Republican allies have pushed false and misleading accounts to downplay the event that left 5 dead and scores of others wounded. His supporters appear to have listened. That's incredible, man. Look at that image of the fucking, like, fence. That's so really cool. I really like this image. Whoever took that image, like, awesome. 3 months after a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol to try to overturn his November election loss, about half of Republicans believe the siege was largely a non-violent protest, or was the handiwork of left-wing activists trying to make Trump look bad, a new Reuters Ipsos poll has found. I want to state unequivocally that, of course, Joe Biden won the 2020 election, Donald Trump lost. January 6th, scary, no good. I do not support Donald Trump, thank you. 6 in 10 Republicans also believe the false claim put out by Trump that November's presidential election was stolen from him due to widespread voter fraud. 6 in 10, folks. Again, who's the 40% here? Oh yeah, well, I still love Donald Trump. I love conservatism. I love America, but you know, whatever. He didn't really, like, win the election. But, like, who are you? Like, you're still a Republican after all this? Like, again, who the fuck are you, bro? It's crazy. Since the Capitol attack, Trump, many of his allies within the Republican Party, and right-wing media personalities have publicly painted a picture of the day's events jarringly at odds with reality. Hundreds of Trump supporters mobilized by the former president's false claims of a stolen election climbed walls of the Capitol building, smashed windows to gain entry while lawmakers were inside voting to certify President Joe Biden's election victory. The rioters, many of them sporting Trump campaign gear and waving flags, also included known white supremacist groups such as the Proud Boys. Again, there is no reasonable Republican. Oh, but my dad's brother-in-law is a reason. No, your dad's brother-in-law is a dumb. Oh, but my mom is, you know, she's a Republican. No, your mom's a fucking moron. Oh, but my sister is, you know, a little bit weird, but, you know, no, your sister's a lot weird. She's a fucking crazy person. If you are a Republican in, you know, April 5th, 2021, I'm sorry, motherfucker. You are one crazy son of a bitch. Right? And again, it's not guilt by association. It's judging you by the company that you keep. You are signing on to a party that tried to destroy the country that you live in. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, again, all these Republicans, like, spent the whole summer going like, blah, 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 Antifa terrorists tried to destroy the country, burn down America. And then literally they lose an election and they try to do just that. The thing that they pretend other people are doing, they try to do just that. These people have no morals. They have no fucking convictions. They're just a bunch of whiny temper tantrum fucking losers, let me just say. In a recent interview with Fox News, Trump said the rioters posed zero threat. Yeah, sure, 5 people died, hundreds of people injured, zero threat. Other prominent Republicans, such as Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, have publicly doubted whether Trump supporters were behind the riot. What the fuck? Last month, 12 Republicans in the House of Reps voted against a resolution honoring Capitol Police officers who defended the grounds. Again, these motherfuckers are crazy. They're crazy. Like, they go from Blue Lives Matter, worship the police, to fuck the cops. It was Antifa. Like, okay, alright, like, okay. So let's assume it is Antifa. Alright, so Antifa invaded the Capitol. It was all secret Antifa agents, okay, super soldiers, right? Why, okay, that makes the cops bad all of a sudden? What? I thought this is the pro-cop people. Like, how can you say it was Antifa and then also that the cops are bad? Because something. So the cops didn't let the pro-Trump people in. That makes them bad. But the pro-Trump people were actually Antifa. So the cops letting Antifa in, is that what makes them bad? I don't know what's happening here. Like, I have no idea, right? But these people still did that. The Reuters Ipsos poll shows a large number of rank-and-file Republicans have embraced the myth. While 59% of all Americans say Trump bears some responsibility for the attack, only 3 in 10 Republicans agree. Now, this isn't full responsibility, folks. This is some responsibility. This is at least 0.0001% responsible. That's what they're trying to say Trump is. 3 in 10 Republicans say, yeah, Trump is at least 0.01% responsible. He at least said one thing that led to this in some capacity somewhere. At least, like a single word maybe uttered at some point from Donald Trump led to this occurring. Only 3 in 10 Republicans believe that. 7 in 10, they're like, nope. No way! Like, they're like, what? Donald Trump, he had nothing to do with it. He was the president of the United States. You know, he was talking about the election over and over and over all day, every day, right? He had nothing to do with it. He's completely innocent. He had nothing to do with it. I'm a reasonable Republican. I love God. Look at me. Woohoo. Like, imagine. Like, these are the same motherfuckers that, like, literally will go to, like, a holy fucking house and, like, fucking pray and then get COVID and die because they're dumb. Like, again, Republicans are crazy motherfuckers. 8 in 10 Democrats. Who are the 2 in 10 Democrats that are like, Trump had nothing to do with it, guys? Like, what the fuck? Like, who are those? Like the Hillary Clinton people? It's like, yep, Trump is bad, but he had nothing to do with this. It was actually like, what is the 2 in 10 Democrats? Who are those people? Is that John Delaney, like, coming back from the fucking Gone Zone, like, coming in saying, yep, nope, Trump is completely innocent? Who are the fucking 2? And 6 in 10 independents reject the false claims that the Capitol siege was mostly peaceful or it was staged by left-wing protesters. Republicans have their own version of reality, said John Gier, an expert on public opinion at Vanderbilt University. It is a huge problem. Democracy requires accountability, and accountability requires evidence. Now, this is the big thing. These people, the Republicans, and I say this with no sarcasm. I know I'm a pretty sarcastic person, right? But these Republicans, and I guess 2 in 10 Democrats, they literally live in a different universe. Like, I want you to understand what that means. Like, for example, when you go out and you look at the sky, you see blue. These motherfuckers see green. These motherfuckers see fucking purple. They are living in a different world. And this is the thing with the internet. This is the thing with, like, you have, like, news sites like the Daily Caller and all those fucking weirdo, like, news sites, like, you know, that just create, like, the Post-Millennial, remember that one? Like, they just create these fan fictions, like, literally, like, they just create things from thin air. They will make stories up. They will take a photograph that has nothing to do with something and turn it into a big Antifa conspiracy theory. These people are literally the biggest fan fiction writers of all time. Like, that, there's a reason why Tumblr shut down. It's because they couldn't hold on their servers the sheer volume of fan fiction being spit out by the right wing. right? Like, these people have been writing fan fiction on a daily basis for years and years and years. You know, it's like when you're watching, like, you know, a television program like The West Wing or something, right? And then it's like it takes place over multiple years, and then there's like that point where it anchors into reality. It's like, who was the last real president, and it turns into the fantasy world and West Wing world, right? You know, like, that's where we're at right now. Like, in the year 2015 or so, a lot of these people just split off. They're in a different world. They live in a different universe. I know it sounds weird, it sounds bizarre to think about, but again, like, they don't believe in the pandemic. They just don't believe, like, they don't believe in germs, bro. I covered this about a year ago when the pandemic first started. There was a poll that said about 3 in 10 Republicans do not use soap. 3 in 10 Republicans do not use soap. I covered that I made a video about that a year ago or so. They don't use soap. They don't believe in germs. Like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, they don't use fucking soap. Imagine living your entire life and you're a Republican and you just don't believe in soap. Like, it's crazy. Let's keep reading. The refusal of Trump and prominent Republicans to repudiate the events on January 6th increases the likelihood of a similar incident happening again, said Susan Cork, director of the Intelligence Project at the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate groups. This is the biggest danger, normalizing this behavior, Cork said. I do think we are going to see more violence. I think so as well. In a fresh reminder of the security threats to the U.S. Capitol faces since January 6th, a motorist rammed a car into the U.S. Capitol Police on Friday and brandished a knife, killing one officer and injuring another, and forcing the Capitol complex to lock down. I saw that happened. I was going to cover it, but I honestly forgot. Officer shot and killed the suspect. Allie Carroll, a spokeswoman for the Republican National Committee, said its members condemned the Capitol attack and referred to a January 13th statement from Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Violence has no place in our politics. Those who partook on the assault, blah, 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 who gives a shit. A representative for Trump did not respond to request for comment. Dangerous spin on reality. The disinformation campaign aimed at downplaying the insurrection and Trump's role in it reflects a growing consensus within the Republican Party that its fortunes remain tethered to Trump and its devoted base, political observers say. According to a new Reuters Ipsos poll, Trump remains the most popular figure within the party, with 8 in 10 Republicans continuing to hold a favorable impression. Imagine being the 2 in 10. Like, again, I get it. Like, you know, you were a Republican in 2015, and now you're a Democrat, and you're on MSNBC, whatever. I get it, right? But, like, who are the 2 in 10 Republicans that are still like, I'm a proud Republican, but Donald Trump is mean? Like, who is that person? Like, who is that? That person doesn't exist. Well, apparently they do. I mean, again, you can read the rest of this if you'd like. But, you know, again, I just want to remind everyone, look at this. In the latest Reuters, only about 3 in 10 independents say they have a favorable view of Trump among the lowest level. Most Americans, 60%, also believe Biden won the election fair and square. 60%. 60% of this country believes that the election happened. But again, they're in a different world. They're occupying like a completely different fucking universe. They're in like fantasy land. They're playing Minecraft, man. They're in their own Roblox server and they've been there for like 30 years, man. They're stuck in a fucking bender. Like, this is like seriously. Only 60% of the country thinks Joe Biden won the election? What? That's crazy, dude. Think about that. Like, I need you to think, like, if you, like, I know there's a pandemic going on, right? But if you go on a bus, right? And let's say there's about 30 people on the bus, right? About 10 of those people, right, are going to think that Donald Trump is the rightful winner of, like, what? You know, like, it's incredible. It's crazy. And this is the thing about it that's really bizarre as well, is that, like, this was all, like, his plan was so obvious from the get-go. Like, I've been making videos about Donald Trump's plan for the election literally since I started my show in January of 2020. I've been saying what his plan of action was going to be, right? It was obvious. Even people on this mainstream media like CNN and MSNBC, even Fox News people knew kind of what the plan was. And then when the plan happened, right, so we knew for years that he was going to do this, and then he did it, and somehow still 40% of the country just, oh, don't know. Like, and that's what happens when you present, like, either the election was stolen or the election was perfect, right? There's going to be a lot of people that have, like, well, I'm a radical centrist. It's got to be something in the middle. He wouldn't say the election was stolen if it had, like, if it was fair and square perfectly, right? Why would he say this? Let's investigate. And then they don't investigate. And they think, oh, well, Biden is the president now. He might have won fair and square. And it's like, no, what the fuck? And then you have to really analyze here the real problems with the election in this country, or elections in this country, I should say, is that we don't have universal voting. Guess what, motherfucker? There is no constitutional amendment that guarantees your right to vote. It doesn't exist. There is none. It's not that it was taken away from you. It never existed in the first place, right? The only amendments that we have bar certain restrictions from people having the right to vote. Like, that's saying being black doesn't strip away your right to vote. Well, why not just have a right to vote, right? Why do you need all these being a woman doesn't infringe. Being, like, why is, like, being a felon does infringe. Why don't we just have a universal fucking right to vote? That's a big problem in this country, right? So if you want to make the argument that the election wasn't fair and square because not everyone had the universal right to vote, I can hear that argument. But if you want to say Joe Biden didn't win the election in the rules of the election that we knew going into ahead of time, I'm sorry, man, but you're living in a different universe. I don't know what to do for you. I hope you get help soon. Please, this is why I'm in favor of Medicare for all. Bitch, you fucking need a therapist, man. Like, seriously, there is some problem. Is there shit in your water supply? What the fuck? I have no idea. But either way, again, Republicans are fucking crazy. And if you don't think so, then you are probably also crazy.